Not falling behind on this international movement, the National Assembly is reviewing and set to vote on the draft law on artificial intelligence during its ongoing 10th session. The draft law is built around 7 guiding principles designed to balance 2 key objectives: managing risks while fostering innovation. The law outlines 4 main pillars: promoting innovation, safeguarding human rights, managing risks, and strengthening international cooperation while maintaining national data sovereignty. Vietnam adopts a 4-level risk-based approach to AI governance. Under this framework, unacceptable risk systems such as those that manipulate cognition or assign social credit scores are strictly prohibited. High-risk systems must comply with stringent obligations, while medium and low-risk systems are subject only to post-inspection when risks arise.
The draft law on artificial intelligence aims to strike a balance between protecting citizens and supporting business growth. It is expected to help unlock innovation while effectively managing risks. Once the law is approved, Vietnam will become one of the first countries in the world to have a dedicated AI law. So how does this align with Vietnam's development strategies, and what forms of collaboration can help strengthen AI governance? We now connect with Mr. Bruno Sinavanadan, co-chair of Eurocharm's Digital Sector Committee, for more insights. Thank you so much for joining us. According to the draft law on artificial intelligence, AI systems are categorized into 4 levels of risk, similar to the EU AI Act. What does this mean for businesses operating in the AI sector?
Well, the fact that Vietnam is taking a similar approach with the EU AI Act is, of course, something we are happy about at Eurocharm Vietnam. On the long run, if there is a harmonization between the regulations, so hopefully following what Europe has initiated with the EU AI Act, such a harmonization will be beneficial for everybody because companies operating in the AI space, operating in Europe and in Vietnam, will have an easier time, justifying what levels of risk they fall into. And if you read the law, you have so many, technical measures, I could say, to implement. So both in Europe and in Vietnam, of course, they're not 100% the same, but they're similar. It will make it easier for companies to operate both in Vietnam and in Europe.
The draft law also sets out 7 principles, one of which is integrating the growth of artificial intelligence with sustainable socio-economic development. How does this reflect Vietnam's broader development vision and enhance its attractiveness for investment in both AI and green sectors?
Well, the principles that are laid out in the draft law, at least, because this is the stage we're at now, for me, it fits into a scope that is much bigger than just the regulation of AI, because it touches upon bigger vision. For us, it echoes the bold statements that were made at COP26, because with the massive investment in AI that are occurring, we require so much energy to power all these AI models. For a country like Vietnam, which is under a rapid development phase, to include this in the law is a very big symbol. To say, okay, we want AI that is regulated, and we want AI that has an energy consumption and a climate impact, which is coherent with, our vision of a society. It's bold and very important.
Looking ahead, what forms of cooperation would best support Vietnam in effectively implementing AI governance?
Well, so I see several aspects in this question. About the regulation itself, it's extremely important to maintain the dialogue between institutions who make the regulations and the private sector to make progress and to reach out doable solutions in practice. We need to find the right balance between innovation and regulation. Only through dialogue can we find this right balance. And actors like Eurochamp Vietnam are very important in this context to make the bridge between the private sector and the institutions and the regulators.
Thank you for your insight.